What's good? It's your boy, TravTheRealist, and I have a brand new podcast series called If You Don't Mind Me Asking with TravTheRealist. I'm going to come up with a new network soon on YouTube and also on Patreon that will be coming out in December. But I wanted to get some people on that I really think are special and have a lot of good talent. Right now I'm back home in New Jersey, so I had to pull up with my boy, Brotha Ash.
Yo, what's up? What's up? It's good.
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. It's good to be back here. Thanks for pulling up on me, and I'm excited to be a part of this.
You the first guest, man. How it feel being first?
It feel amazing. I feel honored. I'm your first guest.
Yeah, you really are the first guest,
that's
man.
What's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Respect.
So tell them what you do, man. Like, tell them what your passion, what you get into.
Right now, my passion, and has always been music. I've been doing a lot of work with young people as well, mentoring and coaching them how to play the drums and stuff. But I'm most known for being a performing artist. My name is Brotha Ash. I produce my own music. I write my own music. I started my own team of artists and creatives about 4 years ago, and I'm just always in the process of kind of remodeling that and growing with it as well. So that's what I do.
So I kind of had issue with it before, but how is it being like a one-man band? Like you say, you produce, you make the own music, you also teach. Does it ever get overwhelming? Like, how do you keep yourself centered and keep yourself focused on the task at hand?
I think it does get overwhelming, and I kind of was like coached to not admit being overwhelmed coming up. You know what I mean? Like just handling stuff with like a poise. But I think last year, like in 2023, I really did get overwhelmed just dealing with like everything, and it became real because it was a point where the music was all I was doing. Like now I work with kids in a few aspects. Like I work with kids at a school for, children with, mental disabilities. And but I also like have my own, branch of mentoring and, drum teaching that I do as well. So like I kind of get to do a lot, but it was a time where it was just the music. So as fun and liberating as that is, and this economy, it brought me a lot of things I had to learn fast, and a lot of moments of not being comfortable. You feel me? So it's not easy, and I definitely think I burnt myself out for real in doing all of that. And I kind of just took this year to reset my mind and figure out what the next phase is for me, like what it looks like, where I'm gonna have to grow. Not only like myself, but like with my team, you feel me? Because like I'm not necessarily in it by myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be, at least. So yeah.
Cause that's dope. Cause we were talking a little bit before we started recording that I was doing this whole podcast thing, and of course people love it, but they don't know how much it goes into it and how much sometimes you don't get a lot back. You know what I'm saying? And when you put a lot into something that you love, you don't really see things coming back to you. Sometimes it can get to a point where you can feel overwhelmed or just feel like, am I going to go any place? But sometimes you do have to step back and reset. And I like the fact that you have a support system now, because what I realized is that I need a team to kind of help things flow. Like right now I'm back at home, so I'm doing it by myself, but I'm getting a group back at home that I feel like will be solid to help this machine constantly grow. Yeah. Because like at the end of the day, we're not machines, but you got to have a system in place, and you have to have some type of breaks in between. And nowadays everybody want quick posts, so they want constant content. But when more is like, is it good?
And I always call that structure. You feel me? Like having stuff put in place to make sure that you're doing whatever it is you do, whether it be podcasting, making music, or cooking, whatever the business is. But after a while, you got to learn, like, you got to have certain, things, whether it be equipment, whether it be a system, a way of doing stuff that you consistently stick to. So, yeah, that's real.
So did you want to quit?
I don't ever think I wanted to quit, like, ever. Like, I can't think of a moment where I was like, I want to stop chasing this dream. Like, it's been moments where I was frustrated, for sure, like moments where I question why, things are as they were, you feel me? But I never ever wanted to quit, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do you feel like that's your upbringing?
I think it's partially the upbringing, but then again, I don't mind quitting shit that I don't like. Like, and I don't necessarily. It's not quitting because it's probably not as much of a big commitment. Like if I stop making music, I quit. But like if I stop, maybe a new hobby I picked up and I don't like it no more. That's different. But like music is a part of me. Like I use it for my own therapy. So like I don't even know what quitting looking like. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like I'm not gonna stop playing my drums. I'm not gonna ever stop being an artist. You feel me? So, and I do have too much pride.
I feel that, like, but pride gets you killed though.
It do, and it's it's something you gotta be aware of. Like, why are you doing it? Because I'm like, am I not gonna quit because I don't want people to say, "Oh, you quit, you stopped, you was talented, and you gave up," or am I really gonna struggle with myself after I stop doing this? Yeah. Like, is it gonna be a inner turmoil, or am I just solely concerned about what people gonna think? You feel me? So, yeah, I just can't.
Do you feel like you care what people think?
I do. I think we all do a little bit. I don't let it control me, but I do care as an artist specifically what people think of my music and my brand and my business. Like I want people to respect it. I want people to think that it's real, it's genuine, but I don't care enough to, stop making music or make music a certain way because they don't like what, so I care. I feel like we all gotta care a little bit, but you shouldn't let it control you.
I feel like that self-awareness is very important because I always used to say I don't care, but deep down I did care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you do kind of care when you be like, all right, it's not really getting pushed like it should, or the people you thought was going to show up aren't really showing up. But then I saw something recently where it's just like, are you doing it for the love or are you just doing it for the attention? And if you're doing it for the love, I had to kind of sit back with the whole podcast thing to be like, hey, I know I say I love it, but do I really love this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you really love something, like for me, I don't know about you, before what I kind of did with the whole format, I was just kind of like, hey, I'm just going to hit the ground running and just see how things go.
Yeah.
But I learned after a while, like, no, I need a plan.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I need an outline. Like if you just running and hitting the floor running, you're going to get burnt out. You know what I'm saying? But if you have like an actual structure that will make things flow fluently, that's how things get built up. And that's what I'm trying to make now with just a structure that even if I did step away, it will constantly keep going.
Yeah. I feel like it's two things I kind of want to touch on. I feel like one is confidence. Like, because when you have a confidence in whatever the product is, whether it be a podcast or my music, it gets to the point where it's like, all right, like, I know this is a quality thing I'm doing. You feel me? So, like, it's not a matter of if people aren't liking it or if it's not working out because it's not good. Like, sometimes you might buy something from the store and you don't like it because it's not good. But other times it's just like, damn, like, it's this one little corner store. Whenever I go there, like, they honey buns are, like, freshly baked. And it's genuine. You can feel the love. So it's kind of like it's a different connection you making. So everybody not going to know about that corner store. Everybody may not like honey buns. But the people that do, that's going to go, they're going to take to it. And they're going to be the people that, like, help you, get to where you got to go. And the other thing I kind of wanted to say was just, like, organization. Like, I feel like this organization is, like, poison to any creative or business person. Like, and I'm learning that too because I'm not an organized person naturally.
Me neither.
So a lot of the times it's just me getting over the hump of sitting down and organizing instead of just getting up and going out and doing stuff. Because like you said, you can get burned out easily doing that. So yeah, that's real. That's real.
I also think I'm afraid of becoming successful. Have you ever felt that way before?
What you mean by that? Like, you afraid by, like?
So, I recently it's a really simple word. It's called like achievement phobia or something like that. But pretty much it's like I feel like in the past sometimes I will self-sabotage myself because it would be like, what if things did go right? You know what I'm saying? I kind of and it goes back to confidence where some people might show confidence through these cameras, but they might not have it really behind themselves.
Word.
And it took me a while to really find my confidence because I feel like a lot of people always was like, oh, Traven's so confident. Where we're just like, I feel like it was always something I had to just do because it was expected of me in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
I don't know if you ever seen, you ever be like in class or in a sports team and they'd be like, all right, we need a leader. and nobody raised their hand. And then I'm like the person that reluctantly raised my hand because I don't want to wait around for everybody so we can just get on with this program. Where so for me, it was always kind of like, you know what? If nobody's going to be the leader, I'll be the leader. And I get even more deeper with this whole podcast. Like my homeboy was telling me, like, what you really want to do. Like my goal isn't really is to be in front of the camera. I never really wanted to be the star. I always kind of wanted to be the person behind the camera, the person that, you know, making the magic happen. Because I don't know, growing up, I always enjoyed like those comedy shows that had the bloopers and they show the people behind the camera. And like they might have like a one-liner here and there. I thought that was more doper than sometimes the people in front of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the person actually controlling it. Yeah. So for me, it's just like I realized when it comes to this podcast space, when I first started it, I was trying to get people involved, but sometimes you got to show people.
Oh yeah,
the vision.
Absolutely.
You can't just tell them and just hope they hop on. You got to actually show it. So with me doing my podcast before, Real Ass Conversations, people saw what I did. People like what I did. So now when I reach out to people, that's like, yeah, I want to get on. Yeah, I want to do that.
Word.
Whereas before when I was doing it, it was just kind of like, I mean, yeah, but we don't really know what it is though, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, if on top of organization, just find out, you know, what do you really want to do? Because sometimes people just do what they're good at. And just because you're good at it doesn't mean you should be doing it.
Or you may not be doing it in the format that you doing it. Like,
exactly.
Like, for example, like I was always good at, I guess just understanding music. I don't really know what to call it. Like having a good ear of music.
Is it psychology type?
I wouldn't even call it just like I just always had like a
good ear.
A good ear and a connection to music.
Do you know this violin person? He's put Russell's name like Michael Prince or whatever. He's like real big in California, so he's pretty much.
Wait, Michael Prince. I feel like I've heard like maybe Kendrick Lamar mention that name before.
He might. He's like real big in like in California when it comes to the violin type jam.
Yeah.
But like he's like trying to change the world by like just teaching people. But he was just saying like on some videos, he's like, yo, it's important to get your kids into music when they're young, so you can see whether they have an ear or not. You know, you might have been put as a young kid, and your dad and your mom are probably like, "Oh, you got an ear." You just
for
don't
real.
know.
And that I feel like that's how, because my dad was a musician, and we got real close through music, and you know, I just kind of always just seeing music as an extension of myself. I had no idea because of my upbringing that I would end up doing this one day. Like I never, if you would have asked me when I was a kid, like, "Yo, would you see yourself in 20 years being a music entrepreneur and owning your own business and having aspirations to have a label one day, like a big label, you feel me, like a respectable label?" Like I'd be like, no, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, but I was always like in love with music. So sometimes you're right, it's not what you're good at. It's just like knowing like how you gotta harness that. You feel me? Like,
exactly. Like for me, I don't know. As a kid, I wanted to be a wrestler. As a kid, I know it's kind of nerdy. But now that I got older, I started to realize like I really don't want to be a wrestler. But as I got older, I started seeing these documentaries and be like, yo, there's announcers, there's cameramen, there's people in the back. And I'm just like, I wish I would have like actually looked deeper into it, because I could have been in that realm by that way if I was actually wanted to be around that system. Because sometimes, you know, you kind of just see what's in front of you and you be like, you know what, there might be times where you do want to kind of be the star. But I know for sometimes whenever it comes to passion, it's all about what can you keep or maintain for a long period of time. Like, it's not like, you know, just like a flame where it's like it flashes like a flash in the pan. I don't want something where I'm just expired one day. I want to be expired from like to the day I die. Like how you say you knew music since you was a kid. For me, I can say I was into music, but I never was like good with the drums. Like, it was funny. That's how I met Sipo, Tyler. These are all friends we know. From I met them all through band, and it was like, yo, literally my middle school teacher told me, he was like, yo, you not good. He told me that, and I told Sheldon that, and he was like, yo, he really told you. He like, teachers aren't supposed to say that. And I was like,
they're not supposed to say that.
And I was just like, I don't know whether you know, I just wasn't showing it, but it was just like I just wasn't part of it. And also, I don't know about you, I was like a follower at elementary school. Like I started off in playing trumpet, but like literally nobody was in trumpet class. Everybody was in percussion. Like all my friends were in the cafeteria playing drums, and I was actually pretty good at trumpet. So I went to go play drums just to be down with my friends, and I wasn't good at drums. And I think to this day, like, what if I would have stuck in trumpet? Because I met Sheldon in high school and he was like a trumpet fiend, and I was like, yo, you can actually play modern music. Like,
that's why it's important to like not be. I mean, you was a kid, it's different, but like as an adult, you feel me? Like you got to be willing to stand by yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, because it's been so many like as an artist, people like it seemed like a lot of my artist friends focus on shit that I don't focus on. Maybe not friends, just peers.
It's these phones, man.
Yeah, and like my peers, not necessarily my close music friends. I feel like we do all kind of align with the same philosophy of like how we want to go after, you know, greatness. You feel me? So like real homegrown, real humble shit. But like the landscape of rap right now is just like it's so stale. Like, and people just kind of try to encourage you to do stale shit. And if you have fresh ideas and creativity, that's just like something you just can't do. Like you just can't do it. So
I'm gonna be demonized for this, but this is if you don't mind me asking. So
no, please.
So there's two parts I want to say. One, I feel like on the men's side, rap music is down. I feel like women right now are killing it.
They absolutely killing it. Yeah,
women are killing it.
Yeah,
but I was talking to Sipo the other day. It's just like what we focus on. Like I went to school out by St. Louis. And St. Louis got like a lot of good music, like Smino's from there.
Oh damn,
Jordan Ward's from there, and like my friends actually went to school with these people. Like they went to school, like, and they put me on like in 2013, 14. So I'm knowing them coming back here, playing them, and it's like, you know, it's kind of catching on. Like T-Pain got on with Smino for a little bit, it was like a little buzz, but it's not where he should have been.
Word.
But then Sexy Red come out of St. Louis, and like she's at the top of the list, and to me it's just like there's a lot of great female rappers out there, but for me it's just like Sexy Red shouldn't be the forefront of St. Louis music for me. But like if you go out to St. Louis, they're championing it because it's almost like, hey, one of our people made it, so we gotta cheer it on. Where it's just like, yo, you literally have. I just got on Jordan Ward a year ago. None of my friends told me about him, but he been making music for 5 or 6 years. Smino I knew about because I went to college. They played him, but I'm just like, yo, y'all have so much good music, so much good talent out there. Why isn't the cream rising to the top?
That's interesting, but like it's something that's also stale in the sense of the machine being like, you know, the big music, you know, labels and the people who get to push the buttons on, you know, what songs are we going to put in front of people to digest. Like they get to, you know, handpick what they want based off of what they think consumers are believing in. So part of the problem is the consumers. People taking to shit that is not as refined, I guess. Because if you listen to a Smino and you listen to a Sexy Red, it's not hard to tell about who spends more time writing songs or actually rapping and being an artist. It's not hard. Mm-hmm. And that's no disrespect to Sexy Red. Like, just like you said, they happy they got, you know, their own champion from St. Louis that made it. I'm happy to see a black woman out here, you know,
doing her thing,
finding success in the same industry I'm trying to find success. Truly, I'm happy when I see shit like that. But to think that, to put that, you know, a Sexy Red album next to, you know, the first female lyricist I think about is Rhapsody a lot of the times.
Rhapsody?
Because it's like just MCs, period, not male or female, that can't, you know, match her level of skill. But she don't get the same attention that, you know, Glorilla might get or Meg Thee Stallion might get. And again, like, they're dope artists. And, you know, in some regard, all of them are. But, like, that's just how it is. And you got to find a way to, like.
But my thing is, they're like, that control. There's, like, rappers that are, like, around her lane that I think are better than her. Like, I like, you know, Monaleo?
Monaleo. No, I don't think so.
She from Houston. Hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like Sexy Red, but bars is hard. Like, I actually like Glorilla. You know, I think Glorilla actually has some talent. I actually
Glow is hard. I think Glow is probably like one of the more talented young female rappers out right now.
Like, I think that's actually talent. Like, but when I see Sexy Red, to me it seems like a project. Like, yo, all right, she has a team. Yeah, give her the hottest beats.
It's a gimmick.
Give her this. You know what I'm saying?
She's a gimmick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and we see it happen all the time. Like, just from the time that you went to school a little earlier than me, but like I remember when I was in college, I remember artists like Trippie Redd coming out, Lil Uzi Vert got real popular my early college years, like, and other rappers that came out around that time, like Lil Pump. What Lil Pump doing? Don't nobody talk about Lil Pump no more.
He's like a fitness person. I don't know. He doing some bull BS.
It's like, but when you were a gimmick, like your style is a gimmick. After that gimmick passes, it's like, all right, if your music had no substance, then it's not gonna last. As the time changes, as people care about different shit, have different styles, you know what I'm saying? Like, you listen to J. Cole still because he says some shit that you still think about, that you relate to.
It's a feeling. Like, that's and it goes all the way back to like some of these old school music too, like
Yeah.
like the Ozzy Brothers. It's like when I hear some of their music, I still get a warm feeling where it's like
Absolutely.
the music nowadays is kind of like, all right, it's hot for a second or just in the club. Like, no, I can play some of the other music. I can play J. Cole anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I can play it at morning, night, working out. You know what I'm saying? It's just multi-dimensional.
It's like you said, it's music in that field of trap music, ratchet, whatever you want to call it, whatever style of hip hop you want to put a focus on. Like, there's levels to it. Like, it's certain songs, like when you hear like some of the Hot Boy shit or like Lil Jon and all, like back in the day, like them type of songs, like, yeah, they was trendy songs, but they was like, they lasted the test of time. Like, that come on in the club now.
T-Pain, like, I'm in love with a stripper. Yeah. Like, I heard it the other day. I'm still feel like it's 2007 or whenever it came out. Like, it's still like it just had an energy to it that I feel like. Well, I don't know. Do you also feel like, I heard that, you know, certain music have different type of hurts and stuff to it. Do you think like that might be the case to it?
Yeah, I do. I think that there is a formula for what people want to hear, especially in certain environments. And I think like artists like Sexy Red, they just make you want to have a good time, especially females. And it's just a lot of, feminine liberation right now, and all of that stuff is beautiful. And, you know, Sexy Red, I guess, just symbolizes the ultimate form of
to me, it's just like the American dream. Like, you can make it, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, she's been in the game for a while. I'm not saying she don't have any talent. I just see a lot of female rappers who should be kind of higher. That's all.
And I feel that sentiment 100%. Like, because as an artist who I view myself as, I have a skill set. You feel me? Like, I'm lyrical. I found a nice flow, a nice pocket I like to get into. And I'll hear an artist that, is trending on TikTok, and I'll be like, damn, bro, like, I don't really hear that same level of skill, and it's hard not to get jealous, but it's kind of like, you got to understand, like, that ain't my journey. Like, I'm not the type of artist that's just going to be like, oh, this is trendy, and we do a little dance to it for a little bit, and then after a while, people will be dancing to something else. I want to make music that lasts. So I can't really trip out when other artists are, popping off today quickly, and it's like, I don't know, that's not for me, you feel me? So it's kind of like, I just kind of appreciate it for what it is, but it does kind of cloud, getting to the good stuff, because it's so many talent. I hate when people say like people don't rap no more. That's not true. You just gotta look in the right places.
Nah, people be rapping.
People be rapping their asses off, bro. Like,
so speaking on skill set, so I think we all started off in high school freestyling.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But there's certain people that, like you said, took it serious. So how did you develop your skill? Like, did you go into like different rhyme flows, like A, B, B? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it goes. Like, I know there's a certain type of formula where you can really like study. Like, how did you really hone your skill or sharpen your sword when it comes to lyrical warfare?
I think the base of it probably comes from my experience as a drummer, because I was drumming and interested in drums long before I ever like put pencil to a pad, ever. So when I like write songs, I probably got credit a lot of my songwriting and my vocabulary to my mom for instilling in me as a child, like making me read and challenging my level of vocabulary to not just use words like dang and freak, like, what I'm saying? Like, my mom was that type of mom. She was an educator, so like I feel like that gave me understanding the words early. And having an older sibling, my brother was like a product of the 80s. He was born in 86. So, he was a young kid during the, 90s era of hip hop that was legendary, early 90s and all that. So, like, that was what he did. So when I was hanging out with my big brother, which was the coolest thing in the world, like, I had to learn how to freestyle because he was freestyling. And I feel like,
come on, L?
Yeah.
I ain't know you freestyle.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
He make beats, like, he
I
played
never
the drums
knew that.
too. Yeah, like, everything, like, it's crazy. Like, me and all my siblings are kind of alike. We all did the same shit. We just focus on different things. Like, we was all put around like, like history and, government and like knowing shit like that. And, Kamel took that route with, some of the stuff she's done. We all played sports, but EJ ended up being a great athlete. We was all musicians, but I ended up focusing on music, you feel me? So it's interesting how we all grew up. And yeah, I just always just had a Love Jones for hip hop, bro. Like I can't explain it. Like whenever I heard hip hop, like
do you remember
it was
your
like a treat.
first album you bought?
Now I don't remember the first album I bought, but I do remember the first mixtape that like I had in my possession.
What was that?
I was Dedication 3.
Oh, Lil Wayne. Okay,
Lil
okay.
Wayne.
Okay.
That was the first joint I had in my possession, and it was my older brother got it for me, and yeah, it was crazy because I was always like listening to like like whatever my parents was putting on, or if I was riding around with my brother where he was playing on the radio, but like I never really was like the kid going to the record stores by myself.
The first record I physically bought that wasn't Biggie or Tupac. I feel like in the 90s it was like it was all Biggie and Tupac for me. And I also kind of feel like at the time like I was just getting it because they just seemed hot. But the one I really wanted was Kanye West College Dropout.
Word.
My sister was like I think like probably like a like I don't know what she was, probably like a sophomore or something in high school or something like that. I'm like still like in middle school, and I'm just like, yo, I kind of listen to the Kanye West CD on the CD player. She's like, nah, she's like, you ain't playing my CD. So I kept asking her. So I saved up my lunch money or whatever.
Yeah,
it was a music store somewhere in Somerset, New Jersey. I went and bought it, and I remember I would walk every day in Somerset just playing that album. That's why for me, tough. Kanye West will always be my favorite artist because I literally like. That was like the first person I personally gravitated to. Like, it wasn't like I'm influenced. At the time, it was like 50 Cent was real big, and everybody was wanted to go to 50 Cent, white beater route, and I like 50 Cent too. But for me, I always kind of wanted to be the black sheep, where it was just like, what, where is the real artist at? You know what I mean? And I fell in love with Kanye West at a real early age.
Kanye, I remember first time I heard Kanye, I was like in I want to say maybe the 3rd or 4th grade. I was young as hell, and I was just like. I was trying to like pitch it to my mom's because my mom would usually listen to like gospel or like old school R&B. Like that's the only thing she really listened to. My pop listened to a lot of jazz. So I was trying to tell my mom like, yeah, like it's this dude named Kanye West and he rap about like
Jesus walks and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Jesus walks. I was like, Mom, he a conscious rapper. Like he don't rap about gangster stuff. Cause my mom used to try to shield us from shit like that. That's why Lil Wayne was so exhilarating for me because I would have to like sneak listen to shit like that. Like if I wasn't listening or with my older brother, or like I would have to like listen to shit when I had the free crib, or like I couldn't. They ain't want us listening to stuff like that. So
this might be a little before your time, but with Lil Wayne, I didn't like Lil Wayne when I first heard him. But the first song on a mixtape I heard I liked him was Cannon, Lil Wayne Cannon.
Cannon,
yeah. So that song, so like I heard that. I remember like Sibo gave me that song
for real.
It was that song, and it was another song. It's so weird. It was Lupe Fiasco and He Gets the Girl. It was like those two songs.
Yeah,
was like my like constant playbacks, and I was like, after a while, I started listening to Lil Wayne more and more, and I was always like one of those like I want to say Lil Wayne haters, but I never like gave him the credit until like it was like 2 years where it was just like. Yo, he like you can't even hate on this dude.
Yeah.
The whole "I am a beast, feed me rappers." When I heard that line, I was like, "Yo, he's the best at this point right now."
Yeah.
But speaking on Lil Wayne, so even though he has such a, for me, I think he has a great mixtape catalog. I think he has a good album discography as well. But he's getting a lot of flack on maybe his songs aren't as good when it comes to stadiums as a Kendrick Lamar. So how would you kind of differentiate the two artists, or who right now do you gravitate more to? Are you more of a would you like Lil Wayne style back in the day, or are you gravitating to where Kendrick Lamar is taking the game?
Well, that is a very unique question to me specifically, because those are literally my two favorite rappers of all time. Like my top two, like in a specific order. Like those two, it could go one or two either way, but you ask me who my two favorite rappers are, I'm gonna say Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar. So in my eyes, Lil Wayne kind of passed the torch to Kendrick, and it was kind of like an evolution of myself because Lil Wayne was more so of a like he started out gangster rap and shit, with the Southern whole thing, and then the Young Money thing was like real pop culture-ish, like money, cars and shit. But like with Kendrick, that's when I kind of wanted to think more as an intellectual when he came out. Like, and when I was in high school, I started thinking about deeper shit, and Kendrick was rapping about deeper shit. And I heard the skill level, and I was like, well, damn, like, he's doing shit with his lyrics that I've never heard no other rapper really do before. And ever since then, I've been like a huge fan of Kendrick.
I forgot. It's so funny because Sipo put me on so much music. Like, so I remember I first heard Kendrick. I believe it was my freshman year of high school. And I forgot what song. I don't know whether it was Shireen or it was another female name song, whatever. And I looked at Sipo, I'm like, man, this ain't it.
For real?
I told him it ain't it because at the time, like, if you want to say who always going to have my heart, it's going to be J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? So J. Cole was my top rapper at the time. And at the time, for me, J. Cole already had some projects in place that I was really a fan of. But, like, I was like a slow burn with Kendrick where, I ain't really started becoming a fan of his until I heard Rigor Mortis. When I heard Rigor Mortis, that's when I started to be like, all right, like, let me start tuning in. And I started tuning in more and more because I actually was going with Ab Soul out of Black Hit because I always want to be different for some reason. I'm like, I'm gonna go with I like Ab Soul. I'm gonna go with him. Okay. So I'm like was championing him real hard, but then I started seeing like, no, like this dude is like the deal Kendrick, like whether I like it or not. And that's what I like. I like when it's to the point where it's like. It's not even an argument. Like, this person is him. Like, no offense. Like with the whole Drake and Kendrick thing, it's no argument now. Kendrick is him.
And you know what's crazy, bro? It wasn't an argument for a long time, and I tried to tell niggas it ain't no disrespect to Drake. I love Drake. I'm a Drake fan. Like I fuck with Drake, but when it come to this rap shit, there's only two that could fuck with each other, and in that realm of music, like when you want to put the ability to make a commercial hit, to be on somebody's charts or be Grammy nominated, check. Lyrical ability, check. Creativity and ability to push the game forward, check. Like those are the two, Cole and Kendrick. Drake is what happens when you have a kid that's like extremely talented and put into the right hands. Like Wayne found Drake and really put him.
He championed him. And Drake has an amazing ability. Like, and his sound is like definitely like it's that classic OVO sound. You feel me? Like we'll never forget it. But when it comes to this hip hop rap shit, like you feel me? Like I never thought it was a question. This is what and this is about to be long winded. This is my whole thing about Drake. I always say this. If Drake was 2 shades darker, he would not be. I don't think he'll be as relevant as he is. I think no, because with the music industry, mind you, I'm not going to like Drake is that dude.
Yeah. But I hear you.
What I hate about,
and I understand exactly why you would say that.
And what I hate about the music industry is that you only need to get into hip hop to become popular, and once you get that audience, you're open. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, let me rephrase it: if you're black, you already have the black audience. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard for you to get popish and go out and get other branches like the Spanish culture, white audiences, different things like that. Yeah. Even though white people do come out and support the most icons because they can afford it, but at the end of the day, they ain't really for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Whereas,
they'll cheer for you while you up
and then they'll bring you down if something happens.
Yep.
Whereas, Drake, no offense, like, I mean, we know he's mixed, but he came in looking like, he came in looking a little bit nerdy-ish, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Came from Degrassi. Word. He's Canadian. So he already has a look of so many different cultures that he can bounce around with these different dialects, these different voices.
Exactly.
So he's already accepted. So all he needed was one audience to get the approval of, and that's a black audience. And Lil Wayne gave him the key.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I don't think that he shouldn't have gave him the key from the, like, business standpoint. If I got Young Money, right? Because you gotta think, like, Lil Wayne was Lil Wayne. Like, Lil Wayne wasn't going to get into a lot of places that Drake could get just off of his appearance. Like, Wayne had, well, let me not say that, because Wayne had like rock star level.
And real quick comparison before I forget is It's almost like how Eminem opened the gates up for 50 Cent. But keep going.
Word. So like Wayne had that appeal already. He was rock star level, but to really, really like secure his legacy, and you know, Nicki and you know all the whole Young Money era, that was a time. Like I think that Drake is, like you said, well, first and foremost, he's an actor. I didn't watch Degrassi, so I didn't know that part of Drake. I didn't know who the fuck Drake was till I heard him on, you know, Wayne's mixtapes and shit. So I don't know, man. Like I just feel like with Drake, it wasn't as, I'm not gonna say it's not as important to him, but like
I'm not even gonna. This is what I feel about Drake. I just feel like he got to a point where he almost forgot who he is.
Word.
And when I say that, I feel like when he first got it, I love that Drake. You know, I love the comeback season. I love the what's it called, So Far Gone mixtape, all that type of stuff. I love that because he still had a sense of, you know what? I'm not even gonna say humble. 'Cause I don't feel like you should be humble. I feel like I hate that definition.
He had
of
an
the word.
edge to him because he knew we didn't fuck with him because he was too nerdy.
Yeah.
That was his edge. That was the chip on his shoulder.
And then when he grew a beard and somewhat got cool, you know, I feel like he just got to the point where he started feeling himself. And I also think he got bored to where he was just like, you know what, I got the formula already. I'm just going to, like, you know, not go as hard until somebody might challenge him, like a Kendrick Lamar. Where I feel like Kendrick, he constantly changed it from going to like a poetry album, from going to a depression and therapy type. It's like, you know, he kept changing each thing because each album wasn't like that before, where for me it's just like, no offense, a lot of Drake fans are chasing that old OVO sound. I mean, of course we like him now, but we missed the Nothing Was the Same. Like that's my favorite tape by him. You know what I'm saying? Like we missed that Drake, and he hasn't really got back to it. But my thing is, he's just so profitable, and I feel like so many people got his hands on, got their hands in his business, where it's like, even if he's not going to fail. That's why I said that I don't think this whole Kendrick thing going to affect him at all.
And I think that with Drake, man, like it just got to a certain point when he was like, man, like I got the recipe figured out. I'm no longer concerned about being a rap star and none of this shit. Like I got it figured out. So now I'm about to go fuck with these dance hall beats. Now I'm about to go fuck with, you know, this gangster drill rap. You know what I'm saying? Like Drake had a bar on one of his last albums where he literally said, "Keep it real, I wasn't ever gangster till now." And I was just kind of like, damn, like he's sitting here telling us like he literally not about this shit. It's just he got so much money and so much success, he could just fuck around with whatever he want to fuck around with. And we just gotta, you know, whether we fuck with it or not is up to us. He don't give a fuck.
And that's what you said. Like, to me, he's like, no, I don't think none of us know the real Drake.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we don't know the real none of these celebrities. Like,
I think we know the real J. Cole. Me personally, I'm about to say people want to, you know, get on J. Cole, but I feel like him doing whatever he did this past thing, that was the most J. Cole-est thing.
Exactly.
That if you're a real J. Cole fan, you know what I'm saying? You could be upset, but I like the fact that he just like, you know what? This is not me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not doing this shit
because
with y'all
people,
niggas.
I like that because sometimes as people, you have to like be like, you know what? Let me just step back and reevaluate it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the type of person is, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm always right, but if you give me some new information, I will amend some of my thinking to be like, you know what? Let me add this to it. So let me change. I hate people who are just like, you want him to go into the fire and like maybe lose all the relationships. I don't know, but for me, I feel like with J. Cole, he's the most to himself, and I feel like Kendrick. I feel like Kendrick himself too, because he ain't tell nobody. He never came in giving us much. He always been like, I'm to myself. I'm about my community, my people. Yeah, and that's all I need. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't need Jamaican Drake. I don't need Canada Drake. I don't need Houston, Texas Drake. I just want to know who Drake is.
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to know who Drake is. You know what I'm saying? At this point, because I feel like he has changed a lot as a man, but I don't feel like his music has progressed.
And I feel like that's why a lot of fans from our era is upset, or not upset, but just disappointed with Drake. I always hear like, you know, with Kendrick and Cole, like you said, they have like consistently over the last decade like gave us new versions of themselves as they evolve. Where Drake kind of plateaued is just like, like pop star. Only things I have to make music about now is like how much money I got and the woman I mess with, and the attention I get from the media. Like, that's just been his life for like the past 5 years, and you could argue, well, that really is his life. You feel me? So like, I don't really know what to call it, but it's just, to me, I don't connect to the new shit some of the new shit, at least the way I've connected to Kendrick's newer stuff. Like,
so say one of your songs pop off and you get instant success, you become a millionaire in the next couple of years type thing. Do you feel like it's going to change you?
I feel like it has to change me, and if it doesn't, then I'm not human. Like, it should change something about me. I shouldn't change like who I am, my code as a grown ass man. Like, I have a code, you feel me? That should never change, but it should change maybe my relationships. The stuff like I can afford to tolerate. Like, if I got $1 million, I can't afford to not make $1 million next year. So it's pedal to the metal to figure out what the fuck we got to do to keep this income generated. You feel me? So like, if you don't change, if you just let your world change and you don't change with it, I feel like that's an easy way to get left behind. So
for me, I think it better for me. I think it just amplifies who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cause like, I want to change in a good way. You feel me? Like, yeah.
Because I feel like if you're a giving person, it's going to just make you want to give more. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Or if you're a person that are stingy or have like self-doubt, it's going to make you even more like
exactly more paranoid,
more money hungry. Because I always say like I feel like honestly, I don't think a couple mil going to change me, but I do feel like if you get like 20 mil plus, you going, come on now. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to change. That's why, when I see stuff like, I know it's that hot, but Diddy and stuff like that. No offense, man. Like, if I'm a billionaire, I might be into some freaky shit too. I mean, I'll be quiet as it kept. You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, nobody's going to understand you besides other people in that realm.
Other people in that level. And if that's what is viewed as acceptable, then
that's what acceptable. And another thing is, when you get to, and we all get to this point, when you reach a destination, you want that next high, or when you reach a certain high, you want another high. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like, I want to get a new Lambo. You got a Lambo. All right, what's next after that? It's going to be a plane. Or, I want one girl. Now I want 10. That's how I met the whole Magic Johnson said. He was like, after a while, he said it just started with success, things just amplify more, where it's just like what was normal at first isn't normal at all anymore.
Yeah. I think for me, I always just prayed that whenever I found great success, that I would just, like, I pray, you feel me, like, Lord, just keep my heart humble and righteous. So like, whatever I'm doing, I don't ever go too far from who I am, you feel me? And I think the most important thing, and you kind of touched on it, is people are going to change around you. Like, touch $20 million and see if your friends don't start acting different. Like, I would like to think that I got good people in my life.
Yeah.
Who not going to switch up on me and start acting weird. But I also understand, I've lived long enough to understand that money makes people act differently. When people know you got something, you have a resource, right, that I don't have, and you could change my life. Shit just gets weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, or not even change my life, or like,
Remember I gave you $10 back in high school? No, I don't remember you gave me.
Or just like, it make people reflect more. Like, if I were to blow up tomorrow, it's gonna be other rappers in Willenboro. Like, damn, like, I'm also a Willenboro rapper. Why wasn't it me? You feel me? So that,
I wonder if Mike Zombie go through that.
He probably do. Shit, like, like, I don't, I never had a relationship with Mike Zombie. He was, at the high school before me, but I can just imagine like what it does to people. And when the music industry, man, it ain't always what it seems. Like, motherfuckers, like, I could have a song take off, and y'all could probably think I got crazy money. Y'all don't know that that's not how royalties work.
So, since we kind of talk about the business of things, do you think you need a machine behind you? Do you think it's better being independent? Because I just saw somebody recently who said he was independent for long. He was just like, you know what? He said, I did do it, but honestly, it's easier just to have somebody behind you. He was like, he says 0 of 100 is still 0. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say word though. I'll say this, and that's a fire quote to basically sum up what I'm about to say. Now is the best time of any time ever in history as a musician to be independent. With the amount of technology we have, the fact that my one telephone can shoot videos edit videos, process audio, email, shit, whatever. Connect with different people. I could send 100 DMs to whatever record label I want to send right now. Now I probably won't get no responses, but ask the Wu-Tang Clan how far they had to, you know what I'm saying, like, or how shit was back before when it was like way. It felt like the big, you know, brand or the big deal was so far away for a lot of artists of, you know, previous times, whereas now it's like everything is so close. There's so much information. Like you can, it's artists that go viral before records labels even know who the fuck they are. They already have millions of streams because it's like that's just the digital world we live in. So now is the best time of any, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with having a machine behind you. That's the route you want to take it. I just hope that it's a fair deal. Most of the time it's not. And that's just something you gotta be sharp to. But
so with this whole streaming debacle nowadays, like how do artists really make money nowadays?
You don't. Not from streaming. Absolutely not. You're not making no money.
So was it from touring? What?
Well, let me not say you're not making money. Like it's just you're not paying no bills. Not in New Jersey unless you got to be streaming to the level of, all right, well, now we hearing this song on the radio. Now this song is getting up for some awards because it's streaming so much where it has taken over a region or a country of sound. You know, people taking to the song that much. You got to be creative. At one point, it was selling mixtape out your trunk. Another point, it was, focusing on getting a brand deal or whatever, like a tour. That's always good. Touring is the best way to make money in the music industry, but you just gotta. The best example, we was talking about him earlier, La Russell. You know what I'm saying? Like that's somebody who has found 100 different ways to make money from being an independent artist. You feel me? So I think that for me, like I've hosted shows, I've gotten booked by, like whether it be nonprofits who get grant money, colleges who, you know, get money from the state to spend, you know, shit like that. Like they pay artists to come perform. You feel me? Like selling t-shirts, you feel me? Connecting with other creatives. Like I'll run a play with somebody like, yo, like, all right, you got a catering business. I need to put a show together. How about you provide the food for my show? It'll help get your people through my doors. They can see my music. You'll keep my people fed, and it'll be an event where they remember where it was great music, it was great food. Now we both making money. Yeah. But it takes hustle and it takes consistency to do that.
Networking.
Yeah, because streaming is the lazy way to make money. You literally just make music, put it out. You don't need a team of people to drop music these days.
I saw like what's her name? What's her name? Oh, man, I have such a brain fart with her. Lady London.
Yeah. I've heard that.
Like she was doing like USB drives and stuff like that. I thought that's pretty cool. Like,
hell yeah.
It's at a time now where you said like, yo, I don't like streaming because if the higher ups want to take it away, like you lose it. Like back then you actually had a physical copy and nobody could take that from you.
Exactly. And it's like hella nostalgia now. Like everybody want to relive the early 2000s, 90s. So you seeing artists like adopt, you know, picking USBs back up. Like I remember like last year or 2 years ago when my second album dropped, I put it on my website for like 2 months and that was it. Like no streaming, nothing. It was $15. Once you paid the $15,
you fuck with it.
Yeah, you could download every song to your computer, phone, whatever. And I did that because I'm like, most of the people that's listening to my music are like my friends. Like I'm still very much a local artist. You feel me? So it's people I know. Most people I know remember downloading music on their computers and phones and shit. That was nostalgic. And that was a great way for them to support me. You feel me? And when you got the right people, they want to support you. So it's 100 ways to skin a cat.
So do you wish you was in a different era of rap music?
See, sometimes I do, just because 90s rap and early 2000s rap is so fascinating to me, just because the beats in a lot of ways hadn't evolved yet to what they are now.
So I miss boom bap. I don't like all this stuff now. I like the boom bap era.
But because of that, it forced the rappers to really make their voices instruments. You feel me? And make their voices, you know, memorable, like 808s and that we hear in tracks now. You feel me? So like I wouldn't say I want to be in that compared to the, you know, time I'm in now, because I believe, you know, it's a time and place for everything. And maybe if I was born in the 90s, I might have went a different route. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But if I had to pick an era, I probably would say, like, I wish I was around when, you know, Nas and...
I mean, I heard the most profitable time was like the early 2000s, though. Like,
Yeah.
like the 03, that's when they had like actual... But like, I feel like in the 90s, it was like they still was trying to get hip-hop mainstream. But like around 01, 02,
Word.
that's when it was like, all right, hip-hop pretty much pop now.
It's pretty much pop. Word. Urban pop type shit.
Exactly.
But I actually heard that too. I heard that Timbaland said that he used to charge crazy bread up front for the rights to his beats. Like, if you didn't want to like give him royalties, what he would charge people was like unheard of now. You feel me? So like, I'm a producer, so I'm like, damn, like fuck, like. But the other side of that is, I use something. I can use my website, but I also use something called BeatStars, which is another fucking platform for producers today. You pay a subscription and you get to sell your beats all over the world. I've had people listen to my beats in Germany. I've never in my life made a beat in fucking Germany.
That's hard.
You know what I'm saying? But an artist, a producer in the early 2000s couldn't just be at home making beats, click, upload. Now motherfuckers halfway across the globe is listening to your music. So it's you know, it's pros and cons to each era.
Not to talk shit about Drake. That's why, you know, I don't believe this whole Drake, Michael Jackson shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Back in the day, you had to get out your house. You got to physically buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it's like all these little cheat codes on how to get your numbers up. Yo, that's why I'm like, you know, I have respect for back in the day for athletes and musicians because they did it in a time where it wasn't as easy to get the information. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Yeah, you had to like. I remember my parents telling me like, yeah, we used to have to go to the fucking library for projects in school. There was no Google at home. Like, we used to have to go to the physical library.
Open that book up.
You feel me? You got to know the Dewey Decimal System or ask the librarian where the book is. Like, I remember learning the Dewey Decimal. I ain't no way they still teaching the Dewey Decimal System in school.
It was no Quizlets online. You know, none of that shit.
Crazy.
Yeah. But it like the times have definitely changed. That's why, you know, sometimes I don't know whether it's for the better or for the worse. Like with this whole AI thing, like that's. I mean, I guess it's good for people who want to spearhead it.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, in the long run, it's definitely a scary thing.
I feel like AI is going to fuck up the people's jobs who do shit in companies, like come up with, you know, titles and phrases and, you know, pitches. But I don't think AI is going to fuck up music too much.
It's just like they making these AI like rappers, you know what I'm saying? They might confuse together these things. And I just don't know, because I'm really scared, no offense, of these COVID babies. You know what I'm saying? Because these COVID babies, they're used to just being on their laptop and not really used to too much human interaction. Word. So people don't understand, like, you know, it's just not how it was back when we went to school. No. Like, we're not like, you know, interacting. These kids is going to be different. So I don't know whether for their generation I'm kind of more scared for it, more so than ours.
I'm concerned about COVID babies too. Just because I feel like the world is in a crazy place since COVID. It just seems like we always worried about the wrong shit, and there's always a crisis going on, and we just, you know, talking about bullshit like baby oil and, you know, like
the wrong shit,
the wrong stuff. So like I just I'm a little torn. Honestly, because part of me like thinks that like the newer generation should be better off than us because of all this technology they got, but I also like feel like that could be a part of, you know, what screws us in the long run. But that's a whole nother conversation.
So I want to ask you this. So what would you tell the Josh in high school now as a 28-year-old you?
The Josh in high school, that was a funny young boy for real. Like, when I think about the shit I used to do, like, I would probably tell him for real, like, just do what you good at more. Like, don't, and I feel like I did, like, you know, I played in the band, and then I stopped to, you know, focus on football and all of that, but I would just, like, be more on myself about, like, just, like, having fun. Like, I felt like as a kid, like, I just was trying to be, so perfect and, rise to the standards of my older siblings and shit, like that I didn't really take the time to learn what I truly, truly wanted out of life. You feel me? And I was able to enjoy my life because I had an enjoyable life. I had amazing parents and, I grew up in a nice community. But yeah, I just feel like, in college and even now in my adult years, I'm learning so much about myself because, I've been forced to become the best version of myself. I feel like that's what all adults should be doing. We should always be trying to work to be better. And doing that, I'm like, oh man, like you never really did like this type of shit. Like,
so what year did that exactly sink in for you? Like,
I think I don't think it sunk into me. Like I got comfortable with who I am until after college. I struggled a lot with that shit in college. Like, cause I went to college and lost my fucking, like, I don't know, like I gained my identity. Like I found parts of myself that I didn't know that I embraced, but I also like lost my base a little bit. Like I went off the rocker a little bit. Like,
I like you today because I was talking to Seepo about it. Because did you have a better high school or college experience?
Fun or like good for me, my well-being?
I'm just saying, like this period,
I had a better college experience. Like,
okay. So for me, it's interesting because like mine was opposite. Because I remember I was talking to one of my cousins. She said like, "Yo, I hated high school," and I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, I went to a predominantly white school. I was like kind of like an outcast," and I was like, "Yo, my thing was totally different." Like, I had an amazing high school experience. One, because I was cool with everybody, and one thing I would say, I never thought I was better than nobody. Like I literally would hang out with the band kids. I would hang out with the ROTC kids, and I would go hang out with the kids, talk about Final Fantasy video games. And then I go hang out with the Jots.
Word.
And I would have a fun time in each area because I just think it's different. Because I was telling him, it's just like for me at least, we all grew up together from like elementary school, so we kind of went past the whole bullying, the whole nasty phase. And by the time we was in high school, we were just like, yo, we just want to have fun and get out of Willingboro.
Word.
Whereas when I went to college, I felt like I always been open book, but I felt like when I went there, I was just too naive. Like, people was using some of the stuff I was saying like against me, and I wasn't kind of used to that. Or even if it was happening in high school, I didn't notice it. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So it got to the point where it's just like, yo, should I be talking to people about how I really feel?
Yeah.
I kind of second guessing myself, and then it took me till like you said, you get out of college and be like, man, fuck that. Like,
exactly.
What I mean? At the end of the day. But I ain't really start like, thinking about like, being like, no offense, like seriously until around like 28. I would say about 28, 25. That's when things started getting serious. But 28, that's when I was just like, you know what? Like I got 2 years of 30. Time to get a little bit more serious about it.
I feel like stuff got serious to me after my dad passed away. Before then, a lot of it, I had no idea I was living like this. But before then, I kind of had a freedom that I didn't realize I had, because I always knew that like that my parents like had my back. Like I was living by myself. I had my own place. I was paying my own phone bill, rent, all of that shit, and I was pretty much independent, what you would qualify as an independent adult. I was like 24 or no. Yeah, I was 24. And so when he passed, it was kind of like, damn, like, okay, so like that extra security blanket is not there no more. Like, you feel me? Like something happened to you, like you need somebody to have your back. Like that's, probably the first person you would call, my dad. And it's like, after today, that's done. So it kind of fucked me up. And like the other side of that was, I still got my mom, but they was married. They was very close and in love. So like in many ways, I lost a part of her that day too. You feel me? So it kind of just made me, it gave me a extra exterior of toughness, I guess. Not that I wasn't already tough from being his son and, growing up in Willingboro. Like Willingboro is an interesting place because like you could have those conversations with the kids about video games, but you could also be walking down the hallway and see somebody getting the shit beat out of them, and knowing that if if you was in that circle, then it could be you. You feel me? So like it's interesting, but like after that happened, like it was just like almost like a numbness and a coldness that came over me, just like that I guess is necessary in a way to, you know, be a man in today's world. And that was a moment where I was like, damn, like that's probably when shit got real serious for me, when I stopped taking, like, not that I wasn't taking music seriously, but I really started thinking about long term. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can I make this serious so if I do pass one day, it's something that I could leave behind to my children, you feel me? Like, that shit just opened my mind to, like, real actual life.
Have you ever had a near-death experience?
No. Nah. I've probably a couple times I should have, but it didn't get to the point where I was, like, you know, in the hospital or, you know.
All right, so I had two.
Yeah.
So the first time, you know, life got serious for me was 2018. I had a pulmonary embolism. It's crazy because somebody famous just passed away from a pulmonary embolism, and literally, I remember, like, I was coughing up blood, but, like, I was broke. I was broke. I couldn't, like, go to the hospital or ER or nothing like that. So I remember calling my mom, and she was just like, "Yo, if you want to take your ass to the hospital," like, you know, I get there, they telling me, like, you know, like, you're young, like, you're probably fine, X, Y, and Z. And they came back. They were like, "No, they're like clots in your lungs." I was like, "Oh,
that's crazy."
But you don't really think about what it is until it happens. And you know, I had like a surgery procedure on my heart, and like a few days later, I saw somebody pass away from the same thing I just had, and I'm just like, "Wow, if I would have waited longer, I would have passed away." So I had to get serious with that. You probably know my mom passed away last December, and like for you, like how your dad was, my mom was pretty much like, she did everything for me. Like, she's the one that scheduled doctor appointments. She's the one that paid mostly all the bills. Like, she was like literally like, all right, to go to.
Yeah.
So when she passed away, I was just like, damn, it's like, I know for a fact I had to step up now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to step up and be that blanket for everybody else. Because, you know, my sisters, they have kids. And, you know, my dad, like you said, he lost a piece of himself too that day.
Yeah.
So when you hit that, you got to get up. And then, like, literally a month later, I had a stroke.
Damn.
And when I had a stroke, like, I was literally in a hospital bed, paralyzed, just crying every night, thinking like, "Yo, this is my life," you know.
Yeah,
but,
it's tough, man.
It was definitely tough. But I was telling people the other day, I was reading a book called "Awaken the Giant Within" by Tony Robbins, and before that whole time, it's like he kept saying, like, you know, like, at the end of the day, like, you control your story. Like, you don't need these certain placement holders and make you happy. Like, you don't need like a car, a new house, X, Y, and Z. Because that's kind of why I was getting depressed. Because for me, I don't know about you, like, I wanted to leave Willingboro so bad because I wanted to prove I was a man. Like,
I was the same.
Like,
yeah, I definitely wanted to get out.
Yeah, and I wanted to prove to my mom, like, yo, like, my mom, she always like took care of multiple families. I'm like, Mom, I want you to focus on yourself. I'm going to get out because I want to, you know, show you like the end result, like that I'm successful or whatever that is.
Word.
Where just like at the end of the day, you know, I really just want to be my mom. You know what I'm saying? And she wanted to be with me. And sometimes what you think you need to get to a certain destination, you don't need at all. Like, you could just make it happen now because people going to take you in. So I think what you said is very important. There's certain things that happen in your life that, you know, it just flip a switch.
Yeah.
Where when I was in the hospital bed, I kind of finally realized like what really is important. And honestly, it's the simplest answers. Like the answers that people tell you all the time, like what's important, it's your health. You know what I'm saying? Your health, your family. Like at the end of the day, when I was in that bed, I didn't give a fuck about my job. I didn't give a fuck about my car. I didn't give a fuck about my house.
Yeah.
I didn't care about. All I cared about was like, yo, how can I get out this bed and just live a somewhat normal life kind of thing. And you really take that for granted. So, it's important that I'm not saying it's important that it happens, but it's important that you learn a lesson from you losing your father.
Because I feel like stuff like that is bound to happen to all of us. And, you know, I always say, like, you know, I've had a very good life. And a lot of it is because of, you know, the type of people my parents were. So, you know, losing him was tough. But, you know, it's so much more to be grateful for. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just being able to just, like, you know, pursue the things I love and still be around a ton of love with, you know, the people I deal with, my friends, my family. It's hard not to enjoy.
So speaking on that, my favorite song by you is "Baby Boy."
Word.
on your project, "Baby Boy." You did it with your dad.
Yeah.
Baby boy, look at you did it on your own. Baby boy, Don't you ever forget where you from, baby boy. I know you and I know you having fun, baby boy. Oh my lower D, you get so strong, baby boy. It's such a joy to see how you have grown, baby boy. Yeah, baby boy. Yeah, baby. Yeah, stump baby. It's what my mama would call me, I love the danger. It's a shame that no one records me, yeah. It's funny all these stories that y'all gon' tell me. I gotta laugh, imagine the stunts that y'all never saw. All the videotapes was filled, last one to the party. Mama said I'm for this early while, cause usually I'm late to the party. But I'm supposed that I was ready to go. What we gon' name this baby, like what is good for his soul? What's gon' be that name we up when we see glass on the floor? Baby boy, you know that you always catch the blame, baby boy. Yeah, a little different, not the same, baby boy. What's that power surging through your veins, baby boy? You got power surging through your veins. Surging through your veins. You got power surging through your veins. Got that power, hey. Speaking of power, it's only proper. Joshua is your name. The prophet blessed with the knowledge of knowing he not the same. Obedient and patient, a follower of the king. He had motives, I had older soldiers molding for my reign. This warrior prophet, but prophets got to lead like a king. Responsible for the flock, but damn it, he's just a kid. Confused and made with guilt, bad decisions and all this sin. Lineage of smokers, tired, heavy black skin, reeking the gin. Deadly sins set patterns through my ken. Generational habits that still itching my skin. God bless my mom and dad because they tried the best to end the shit they grew up hating that they didn't want for their babies. My brother had the worst because he came through in the 80s. Crackers out the windows and they yelling about they cravings while they praying. Damn.
So can you tell me like the process behind you making that song? Like, you know, how did you feel once it was completed? What was your, did you ask your dad like how his thought process was that you reached out to him about it?
Yeah, it was that song. Oddly enough, that was like the last day that I spent with my dad when he recorded that solo on the end of that song.
Oh man.
And it was like the last thing I asked him to do for me. He, you know, came through and did. And it was when I was at my old place, and yeah, it was a dope experience because, you know, my dad, he knew everything that I envisioned for my business, and you know, him being a musician, he wanted to pursue music to the extent that I'm doing it now. You know, had my older brother, you know, when he was around 24, 25, and, you know, life got serious for him. So, you know, it became more of a something that he practiced and was very skilled at, but it was more of like a hobby, like his gigs and stuff. Like it was, you know, it wasn't to the point where, you know, he was able to like do what I'm doing now or what I was doing a couple years ago, just solely, you know what I'm saying? So he saw a lot of himself in me, you know, becoming Brotha Ash, and like it went from, you know, what you doing now that you're not in school to when you're getting back in school to, oh, what's all this stuff coming to the house, or, oh, you having business meetings, or like, you know, you selling merch, you selling t-shirts, like, oh, you dropping an album now, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's really saw me step by step build, you know, my career and what I like wanted to become. So when he's like saw that and came in my apartment and seen like the soundproof room and the studio set up, he was just like super proud, and I could see it on his face. Like
he was serious.
Yeah, he knew I was serious, and you know, once he seen how serious I was, like I could see how proud he was that I wasn't just, you know, a young man that just, you know, gave up on something and decided to fall back on music and treat it like a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really taking it seriously and still working a full-time job and still working overtime, and, you know, not really being home a lot. When I am home, I'm in my room, in my studio, like locking myself in there. And, you know, it just gave him a level of respect for his youngest son to be able to, you know, move out and do that and have him come over like he's an artist, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we just had a good time. Like, you know, my father was ultimate professional. He was always on time, you know, just a clean cut dude. Like, so he got in the studio and it took him 2 takes. He laid that beautiful solo, and it was just like, I don't think he ever had a chance to hear the whole song, which is crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
He passed before the album dropped, so it was just kind of like I said, that was the last day I spent with him. And, you know, he, in his accident, he had a heart attack a couple weeks later on vacation, and it was just kind of like, damn, like that was another sign of encouragement for me to have seen my pop in that element with me and know that I had his seal of approval and that he was proud of me. and then to go on and be able to still put that out and not only be my first album, but the first time he was ever featured on a hip hop album as a saxophonist. I was able to do that for him. So it was an amazing and beautiful experience, and I'm just glad that like I had to, got to share that with him.
So when you first heard the instrumental, or if you made it, was you just like, yo, I have to get my dad on this? Was it like that? It kind of reminded me of Kendrick Lamar, Immortal Man, a little bit.
Yeah, it was. It was some stuff going on in the family at the time where, we was just really leaning on each other for real, like, and I think what was that? That was 2021. In 2020, in the pandemic, like it was the entire Ash family like together, like we was in the pandemic together, like so we was just always with each other, and it was just like kind of like when I heard that song, I had been telling my dad for a while because like I would be in the house and I'm like, yeah, like I want to get you on something, and I recorded him a couple times, but it wasn't like a song, it wasn't applied, it was just like we just messing around, but when I heard that one, I was like, yeah, I gotta get him on this, because when I was writing that song, it was like I was finishing the album up, and I'm like, I need a song to, tell people about me, like where I came from, giving, respect to, the people that helped me make who I am. So when I heard that beat and it had the saxophone loop in it, I was like, oh, I gotta get him to bless the end of the track. So and he was more than happy. So
the transition back to for your music, where did Brotha Ash come from? Like, how did that name? Were you just big in church?
So oddly enough, that's something that also like kind of came from my dad as well. Like, it came from church. It came from being in my fraternity, us calling each other brother this, brother that.
You in a fraternity?
Yeah, Kappa Alpha Psi. Yep, I pledged when I was in college, fall 15.
Okay.
Yeah, and legacy. My dad was a Kappa as well, and we free. Where was I going with that?
How you got your name, Brotha?
Oh, yeah, brother. So we would just, like whenever I would be on moves with my dad as a kid, like he would be like, yo, brother, we gotta go do this, or all right, brother, come on. Like, and that's just how he talked. You feel me? That's how a lot of black men talk. So when I was thinking of a name for myself, it just seemed
to fit.
Yeah, it seemed familiar and it sounded good, so I stuck with it.
So what does Brotha Ash want to be remembered for when it's all said and done?
I think, I know I want to be remembered for encouraging people to embrace their passions, the things that they feel like they are called to do, embracing them fearlessly, and I want to be known for making good, genuine music that genuinely makes people feel good. Like, I know I'm going to have some songs that's just for fun. Like, this is just a party song. Like, this is just supposed to make you want to go out and, kick it with your boys or your girls, whatever. But, like, I want people to look at my music as a whole, like, nah, this, as we lay this dude to rest, I got to say his music really made me smile a few times and, got me through some places in life where it just made a moment or two feel better because I was listening to this.
All right, so besides the song I recommended, if you could give two songs for any new listeners to hear right now to know who you are, what would those two songs be?
I would say one of my most recent releases, East Coast.
I just wanna ride with a baddie from the East Coast. Versace on the body with the weed smoke. Hey, act right, you get a ring, ho. Act right, you get a ring, ho. I just wanna ride with a baddie from the East Coast. Versace on the body with the weed smoke. I told her, act right, you get a ring, ho. Just act right, you get a ring, ho. I just wanna ride with a baddie from the East Coast, but she want the straight stuff. I just want some weed smoke. I just wanna I just so she deep though, 27 years and I always been a freak though. Cool motherfucker, man, I always had to stay low. She want me for the voice, but I told her I ain't see low. Top down so the breeze flows, something like how we flow. Summertime, I'm eating pizza on the beach, bro. Wildwood, the seaside, riding as a team. No, the team ain't green, but the team goes silly. Feel like we's weak, cause everybody need a milli. Need a feature with some bars, somebody hit flow milli. I used to bump no ceilings, now I feel it. Pops told me if you gon' do it, you should kill it. I've been knocking out verses since I recorded Villain and running through my competition. AJ Dillon. I just wanna ride with
whenever I'm talking about my music, I feel like my newest stuff is always some of my better stuff. And East Coast is it's just a song that really is show you like my style, probably some of my influences, and you know, just kind of where I've been at mentally this year. And it's a fun song. It's pretty upbeat, but bouncy type thing.
It's kind of like it was kind of like a chick record, wasn't it? Was it a chick record?
Well, one of them was more of a
it was two.
Yeah. One of them was more of a chick record. That one was, you know, something just for the ladies. You know, it's called Just Got Paid. So the hook, you know, it's Friday and she just got paid. So you know, get something to the ladies, like turn this on, go have some fun, do you? But the East Coast one, that's more just a lyrical exercise. Okay. You know, the hook is a good hook though. Like it's one of my favorite hooks, and it's, you know, it's something that I could definitely hear, like, you know, on some games or, you know, TV shows or radio. Like I think it got that type of potential. And then my other song I would say is probably A Little. That's
Yeah. Grind a little, cry a little, try a little, first try, grind a little, trial, 10th try, hey, don't stop, baby. Cause it's explicit when I spit it. Any rival come and get it, bitch, I serve this shit like Saint. Taking bands out the briefcase and I throw them in the bank. Tell them sling it in the safe. Get my Bruce on, bitch, you hear me what I say. Lately I've been feeling like a big boss. Big dick, big draws, his stick, stiff arm. All my competition hit a step back, disheartened. I'm harder, go further, your father, this order. Straighten out the truth. Ain't met a motherfucker yet that I can hang with in the booth. I pull up to the stew and watch the damage I induce. Watch the pain I turn to stories I discovered in my youth. And the day before the now that made was right in front of you. I just kept it in my head, shit, it's all I had to do. When I was mad I had something like some pads of any sport of any season that you could ever choose. Not to add, I had a dad that made it bad. To express how I was feeling into that I must refuse. Shut up, stop crying, be quiet, stop lying. Fast forward, 15, I'm flying, I'm soaring. I find it, explore it, I like it, enjoy it. Mastered every demon, I'm removing all these cancers out my life. They steady eating, biting and they munching on my insides. Keep it backhand ready for a dick rider. Now I'm meeting all these strangers like a fucking Lyft driver. I got that product, make them buy it, now they subscribing. To the wick and all that shit that come with it. To every other rapper, bitch, you could come get it. Hey, grind a little, cry a little, try a little, fly a little, grind a little, cry a little.
Something off my first project.
I like Little, yeah.
Yeah, that song, it just kind of taps into, like, you know, my drive and my philosophy as far as pursuing this, you know, music.
So what more about your thing? So when you make your projects, is it all conceptual, or are you like, hey, I need to have four bangers, 2 lady records, 3 concept? You know, how do you break down your actual project?
So I like to have a good blend of definitely something that I feel like the ladies could listen to or appreciate. I gotta have a song on there that I would want to work out to get me hype in some type of way. Mm-hmm. And then it gotta have like a chill song. Like something you just want, you know, either smoke to or chill to, or, you know, just you with your friends and, you know, stuff like that. Like I wanna have songs on my album where I could put it into a situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just got home from college and you wanna, you know, share your friends some new music you heard on campus your first semester. And it's this guy from New Jersey named Brotha Ash. You feel me? Like I wanna give you that type of song where you could just, you know, smoke and chill too.
Exactly. All right. I'm about to say, so I think we're gonna wrap it up right here. But I did want to get a 16. I want you to showcase your talent a little bit to the audience here, and I'm gonna pull up an instrumental. I don't know whether you have one you want to play or not. Say, I don't really like champion a lot of people that I don't really believe in. And Josh, or Brotha Ash, man of many names, he's somebody that I really did see come from the bottom up. I see that he really takes his craft seriously, and I really want you guys to tune into his music. Like I wouldn't have pulled up on him if I didn't think, you know, he was on a top caliber type of skill.
Word.
I was gonna ask you while we wait for this. So if you had any dream collabs, who would it be?
Dream collab. Shoot, I would have to say Kendrick Lamar for sure. If Kendrick, I want to think of somebody. Oh, Glorilla.
Glorilla.
I want to get a Glorilla collab. Like if I had to pick an artist like right now, I would either say, you know, Kendrick, Glow. I would love to be able to do something with like somebody from my childhood, like you know, like Lauryn Hill or even like Common or Nas, like that whole era, like kind of neo soul rap. Yeah, that's probably who I'm thinking.
All right, so we're going to take a quick intermission. We're going to get the music together. We're going to do a quick little 16.
Part two, you only want 16, right?
Whatever you got. Whatever you feel.
Yeah. I'm that type of brother. Get a couple of plans, get a couple of friends, take them back to the land, build it from the ground. Yeah, you know I am Superman. Anything for the team and anything for a dream. I'm that type of brother, do it for the love. Martin Luther King, cause I judge you by your character. These rappers ain't got no character. More looking like some caricatures. Big fools, big dudes, big tools. Use big things with big dudes. I don't know, you just a big fool. Find a beat and then I go like, bitch, I'm Deadpool with the beat, slicing you all the way to your feet. It ain't nothing I regenerate. Then I gotta take a break to meditate, then levitate on the fucking hater. Why the fuck you playing? Why would you date him? And you know that she for community, like a bathroom in the dorm at a university. Fuck it, I don't know, it's just a verse to me. A freestyle never hurt to me. I could do it once, then I did it 3, like murder things, like Jason. Friday, the 13th, I'm a Halloween baby. 4 days early, almost drove my mama crazy. She was in the Bible study, studying the word. Named me Joshua Isaiah. I said hallelujah. Oh shit. Now I'm fucking with this flow. I'm dying in the basement, and a shout out to the bro. You know, podcast, couple words, podcast with a couple verbs, podcast with a couple interviews. It ain't nothing just to get to you. I don't know, I ain't did this interview. Really more of a writer, but I couldn't give you nothing, cause I'm a fucking fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, that was hard. Yeah, G. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, it's your boy TravTheRealist. This is the first episode of Do You Mind Me Asking with TravTheRealist, and I got Brotha Ash with me. Remember to check out his new project. Say it again for me one time.
Yeah. So it's 2 singles. It's called Jersey's Finest, a little small little EP. So go ahead, check them joints out when y'all get a chance, and listen to my albums, Can't Stand Myself and Baby Boy Stimulated as well, all streaming platforms.
Hey, tune in. Trust me, I just heard something real special. It's your boy TravTheRealist. It's always love.
Appreciate it.
Remember to do what you want to do and not what you good at.
Absolutely. I like that.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. It's all love. Peace. What's good, family? It's your new favorite host, TravTheRealist from Bearview Media. We just want to take this time and say thank you for watching the video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. That small little gesture will take our page to a whole nother level. If you want exclusive content, interviews, and things that you will never see, please go to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Bearview Media. We appreciate all the love and all the feedback, and stay tuned for more content. Much love. Peace.